In this stage, we're going to learn a few advanced topics about activity transitions. Understanding these techniques is critical to implementing transitions in real-world applications. Let's say we want to build the transition like this when launching the album detail activity. The album art zooms in as the shared view, and the rest of the views slide up from the bottom of the screen. The shared element transition is straightforward, and we'll skip that for now. But how do we make the other views slide up? Right, we can customize the enter transition of album detail activity. So let's switch to that class here in Android Studio. Let's delete this line for the return transition, uncomment for the enter transition, and we'll make this slide up from the bottom instead of the right. So we can just use gravity.bottom. Okay, let's run it and see how this looks before we do anything else. Okay, we'll try it out. No, and that was pretty good. But if you look closely, you can see the status bar sliding up and down as the album art expands. It's a little bit hard to see, but I think you can catch it on some of these. All right, so that's annoying. How do we get rid of it? Fortunately, we have the ability to exclude targets from transitions, just like we can add them. So here, we need to make a new transition. Instead of just setting it to a new one in here, let's create a new slide, call it slide, equal to, and we can just cut this and then paste it up here. Now we'll use it down here. And now we can exclude things using slide.exclude target, and we can pass in a specific ID to exclude. For the status bar, it looks like this: android.r.id.status bar background. And the second parameter here, you can see it's a Boolean for exclude. We just say true. The method already says exclude, so I don't know why it makes us pass in that Boolean, but there we go. Okay, let's run this, see how this looks. And if we try it out, okay, the status bar is gone, but we can still see there's a little bit of like white that's sliding up and down behind the image. It looks like a background of something. Let's check the layout file for activity album detail. So if we scroll all the way up to the top, yep, sure enough, we have a background on the scroll view that's setting the background to white for the entire scroll view. Let's just delete this attribute and see how this looks. So now, without that attribute, the background should be transparent, and sure enough, yep, just our views are sliding into place, and that white part that we saw before is now gone. That's pretty good. Let's break for a moment, and then we'll come back and look at one last glitch to fix about that Fab button.